And welcome to the Wildcat Watch, brought to you by KNBU TV. The winter athletic teams wrapped up their seasons and have now entered into national competition. The wrestling team traveled up to Iowa and was represented very well. 7 Baker wrestlers traveled to Des Moines, Iowa this past weekend to battle for their chance to be an All-American. Despite the fierce competition at the NAIA National Championship, BU made its presence known by crowning 2 All-Americans, an honor the program has seen 8 times since its inception in 2009. 2-time All-American Brandon Gebhardt was a part of one of the most anticipated matchups of the tournament. Fans expected one last chance for Gebhardt to avenge last year's national title loss against Grandview's #1 ranked Eric Thompson.
Try not to dwell on it, try not to think too much about the pressure, but then at the same time you can't forget all about it because, you still got to be prepared, you still got to be ready.
Gebhardt was pinned by Thompson for the 2nd year in a row, but he leaves Baker as the most decorated wrestler in the program's history. Although 5 of the BU grapplers were unable to place in this year's tournament, Alan Callahan, Joel Olivas, and Nick Haugen will all return next year, hoping to finish the task they started in Des Moines. Parker Owen was Baker's 2nd All-American. He fell in his first match of the tournament but won 4 straight on his way to a 6th-place finish. Jimmy May has coached for nearly 40 years, and Owen's All-American match reminded May why his life has been dedicated to the mat. Speaking of wrestling, the International Olympic Committee decided earlier this year that wrestling will not be included in the 2020 Olympic Games. The decision was devastating to the wrestling community around the world. In fact, many are gathering support in an attempt to change the IOC's decision. KNBU's Joe Pace sat down with 2 Baker wrestlers to discuss the issue in this week's KNBU TV Roundtable.
We'll just start by asking, both of you have wrestled for a very good amount of your lifetime. So, Bo, how did this decision to cancel Olympic wrestling in the 2020 Olympics, how did that hit you?
My initial reaction was I really wanted to throw my remote through my window or my TV or something. When I found out, I was like, they're taking away the only thing that wrestling has after college. We really don't have anything aside from Olympics.
There's no professional league. There's no, big contract or signing bonus. So for wrestling, the Super Bowl, the pinnacle of our sport, is the Olympic medal, and for taking that away from the sport, it's absolutely tragic.
The IOC reviewed 26 sports, and out of all the sports, they decided that wrestling was to be cut and the pentathlon is to stay. And for those of you who don't know, the pentathlon is a sport that combines fencing, horse riding, swimming, running, and shooting together.
How about viewers? How many people actually watch the pentathlon on TV? I know I would wake up whenever wrestling's playing in the Olympics because I look forward to that, and I'm sure other people do as well. And people in other countries, wrestling in other countries is a very patriotic sport where the country can really get behind their warriors of their country. People will really look forward to wrestling. Not so much in just America, but Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria. Wrestlers are celebrities.
You can hear the entire roundtable discussion on our Baker Orange YouTube page or at thebakerorange.com. While wrestling is currently a hot topic in the sports world, so is the quarterback the Kansas City Chiefs picked up. Nick Williams has more in this week's KNBU TV commentary.
Matt Castle couldn't do it. Brady Quinn couldn't do it either. The biggest problem for Chiefs' new head coach Andy Reid is at the quarterback position. After acquiring Alex Smith from the 49ers, I really do believe this team will do a lot better. They will definitely win more than 2 games. The biggest question is, will Smith fade like other recent quarterbacks have? The Chiefs have talent, and Smith is that missing piece they need to get over the hump. He's a great decision maker, and he has playmakers around him such as receivers Dwayne Bowe and Jonathan Baldwin. And oh yeah, don't forget about the run game and Jamal Charles, who is a top 5 running back in the NFL in my book. With this much talent, Smith doesn't have to come in and be the man. He just has to play smart and make the routine plays and not turn the ball over like Matt Castle. With the low draft class for quarterbacks this year, this is a great move for the Chiefs. Do I see them making the playoffs? Maybe, but I wouldn't bet my top dollar for that. But they have the talent to do so. I just don't see them topping the Broncos in the AFC West division. I predict the Kansas City Chiefs to finish 9-7 next year. Don't let me down, Alex Smith. Got a lot of faith in you. I'm Nick Williams.
The last time the Chiefs traded for a quarterback with the 49ers dates back to 1993 when Hall of Famer Joe Montana was taking snaps at Arrowhead. Now, let's take a look at what's going on around the Baker campus. While spring break is right around the corner, students are happy to venture off to warm destinations. But warm temperatures was not the case recently here in Baldwin City. Over the past 10 days, southeast Kansas has received more than 15 inches of snow. Although the storm kept some people inside, the brothers at Kappa Sigma got out of the house and made the most of it. Junior Chip Allen was one of many to go outside and build a giant igloo on the front lawn at Kappa Sigma.
We actually built the igloo around 2 couches, and then we ran a PVC pipe through one of the walls so that we could put a cord out there, and we have a television and a Nintendo 64 in there.
Even though the snow is now melted, Allen says if it snows again next winter, the house will build another igloo. The recent snow days allowed Baker students to relax and catch up on homework and sleep. On March 1st, students dug themselves out of the snow to help a worthy cause. Megan Pontius has more.
Up Till Dawn is a letter writing campaign sponsored by St. Jude and the Delta 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 sorority.
So they write letters to family members or friends that are willing to donate to St. Jude.
It takes almost $2 million to open St. Jude's doors every day. Close to 150 students participated in this year's event.
A lot of times people don't even know about St. Jude or what they do, but to see so many people tonight together writing letters to help support this organization, and they go to St. Jude and they're given hope.
When I finally got the chance to come last year, I jumped on it and I enjoyed it, so I decided to come back.
This year's featured patient was Sarah Burrichter. Up Till Dawn helps patients like Sarah go to St. Jude and receive the best care available.
Over at St. Jude, you usually get to see new kids over there and meet new friends.
Food, music, and prizes are incentives for participants, along with morale breaks where teams were encouraged to dance and do a team cheer.
Get to use your time to help people, and that's always nice. And it's a fun atmosphere. You get to come, they do songs, play games, all sorts of things.
It's also like a big celebration of life too, like the kids were saving. So it's just a fun event to be at.
Last year, Up Till Dawn raised $11,000 for St. Jude. This year, participants hope to reach their goal of $15,000 with some help from corporate sponsors.
This event really truly helps us in every way. Even if it's a $5 donation, it helps our hospital and helps our kids.
Just really appreciate everyone being out here tonight, and so grateful that you have picked St. Jude.
Megan Pontius, KNBU TV.
All of the money from the event will go directly back to St. Jude. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, and this week's Baker Beat, Ashley Payne talked to students to find out what their plans are.
Welcome to this week's edition of Baker Beat. I'm Ashley Payne. This week we asked students what they'd be doing to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
I'm flying all the way back to school from Canada.
For St. Patrick's Day, I'm not celebrating it, but I'm celebrating fake Patrick's Day up in Manhattan.
I will be going home And for St. Patrick's Day, I'll probably be partying and then getting on the plane headed back here.
For St. Patrick's Day, I'm going to a parade and I'm wearing all green with all of my friends.
That's all for the Baker Beat. Back to you, Brad.
And that'll do it for this week's Wildcat Watch. Have a great spring break. We'll see you in 2 weeks.